I'm just gonna start streaming on YouTube because we're gonna get started in like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can check on the website. You sexy bastard. Thank you for slurping my compliments. It's what keeps me awake at night. I think of you as a Slurpee boy.
Slurpees are pretty good. Yeah, I prefer them over ices.
I don't. Well, actually, I prefer slush puppies. I think they're what
From
they're called.
Circle K?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, those are pretty good.
I like it. The icier they are, is where it says like if you chew them almost.
So you like that flavor ice stuff, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
Flavor ices are delicious.
Yeah, they're more like smoothies than like Slurpees and shit.
Yeah, like the best is when the paretero man walks by.
La paladero man. Good try though.
I tried my best.
What music do we want to open with?
The inflection was great.
You can do my honorable mention. From Borderlands. I was walking down the street of
No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah. I feel
Cage the Elephant.
It's also I feel like we should play that one again in like 2 months as our intro, because I think that was the intro to our very first
The very
show.
first one was fucking Tony Hawk. It was Superman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one we'll have to play at our 1 year anniversary.
Here I am, doing everything I can. Yeah, that song.
I am pretending I'm a
Superman.
Yeah, that was our first one. All right, that's ready to go.
No, but it's great because that means she can double as our drummer and our bodyguard.
So Nick left your band?
Yeah, well...
Here, I'm going to play...
On Kaotic Radio, 70 RPM, with Dodgy the Punk DJ, tune in now. 69,
I don't hear us at all, so...
Good.
Okay.
You stand up by 79.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah. But yeah, him and I had a conversation before our last show, and I don't know, we got angry at each other, or at least I got angry.
You got angry?
Nick did not get angry.
I did. Just we had a difference of opinion. That's all.
I need to write my bullshit down because my phone is actually on its last leg.
Where'd you pick up your charger while we were at your house?
Because you touch yourself and I do.
I do
really
not see the
bothers me
correlation.
for some reason. I don't know why I think about it too often, but I do.
Do you have an iPhone?
No, I have a Type-C charger.
I doubt there's one lying around.
Yeah, not everyone's moved on yet.
What is it? One of those new Android chargers?
Yeah, it's a
Type-C.
Type-C.
Oh, is it that fast?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's what... So the cool thing is Apple is going to be switching that shit in the next 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
nice.
they'll all be Type-C. There won't be any
Fuck yeah.
there won't be any contingencies. We got a minute left. How the fuck do I write things on a Mac?
You use the keyboard.
No, I mean, like, where's my fucking word processor? There's a notepad. There we go.
The keyboard boy.
Oh, look at this. Zelda, Minish Cap, WarioWare, Inc., Astro Boy, The Mega Factor, Pokemon Ruby, and Fire Emblem.
That was my Game Boy Advance list.
Look at that. Well, it's now my top 5 fucking open world games.
By the way, are we at 30 seconds all quiet yet?
Yes.
There's bad radio, good radio, and chaotic radio. In that order.
I'm Grizzly Guns Gamer, and you're listening to the Kinda Gaming Show. Ooh.
Welcome to the Kinda Gaming Show. I was going to get interrupted by the vocal, so I just let it happen for a second.
So you just decided to blue ball us all hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck you, Andrew.
He fucking did it, man.
The blue ball boy. My name is Andrew. I'm the host of the Kinda Gaming Show. I'm here with my two usual co-hosts, Miguel and Connor.
Yeah, how's it going, everybody?
Mike is not here this week, so I brought in my good friend Taylor.
Not
Hello.
Sunday.
Yo.
Yeah, no, Tay's on days in studio with us right now. Don't let his appearance fool you.
I was going to try and do an impression, but I doubt I could do it.
You have a much better chance of being able to do it than I do. I have. Can you sing Chocolate Rain for us, Tay?
No.
Chocolate rain.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
There, he did it.
All right. Go.
That's totally him. Good job, Ted.
Do you have an applause sound on the board?
Probably not.
Hey, if you snitches on YouTube, say anything.
We've got this one.
Perfect.
Acceptable.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah, right.
No. All right. So to this show, it's going to be a quick one. We're only doing an hour this evening. We're going to be counting down our top 5 open world games, and I figured none of us have games to review this week. I will say that in terms of productivity and beating games, I was actually able to beat Game Dev Tycoon this week.
Wow, Ted, this performance you're putting on is... That impression is spot on, my man.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
He sings and speaks at the same time. Holy shit.
He does that old trick of throwing his voice.
Throating his
Try my
voice.
best.
Yeah, he's a ventriloquist.
Neat.
That's his penis singing right now.
I was hoping you would say something that was like not correct. Like instead of ventriloquist, you're like, yeah, he's a gynecologist.
All right. Yeah, neither one of you have games to review, right?
I don't have anything yet.
Yeah, I didn't think so because I didn't give you anything. So if you had anything, it was just late.
If we happen to buy something, I don't know.
Yeah, if you happened to buy something. I finally beat Dad of War, and it's so good. All right, so let's just get this started. Top 5 open world games.
And I want to just put I just put this because I was like, okay, to clarify, games with small locale don't count, like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon. Not counting any of those because it's open world technically, but it's not what people think of. Like I don't think anyone would say that's open world.
Yeah, like
What about Minecraft?
Minecraft is considered open world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's odd.
It just goes on forever, doesn't it?
No, there's
Can't you just
actually
keep
No,
walking?
it is limitless.
there
hasn't been a limit since like Alpha 1.8.
Isn't
Or
there
on
a
consoles.
point where like when you're going to the edge, it starts breaking up and the
It
land
used
is
to.
just-
It doesn't
used to?
Yeah, it doesn't do that
okay.
anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it hasn't done that for I want to say 6 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
Shows how much.
And
I
then
played.
I also am not counting instance-based games like battle royale types. It's like yeah, they're open, do whatever, but
Yeah.
you kind of like you have an objective and that's your time in there.
There's one game on my list that like is it might be questionable,
That's
but the rest of them I feel are fit the criteria.
yeah, I put it as an honorable mention. I guess we'll get those out of the way. I put the Zelda series with an asterisk because it's like
Well, I mean the new one's
The new one
big
is.
as fuck.
yeah, the new one is open world.
Yeah, that's the asterisk.
That
Asterisk.
and it's like Breath of the Wild's not like on my top 5. Otherwise, like I would totally include that one. But the rest of them, they are technically like open for you to go do whatever the fuck. But there's like an order. I say question like asterisk next to that too because there's some that you can do out of order. But my point is, it's like once you do a dungeon, there's pretty much no reason for you to go back there and do anything.
Yeah.
Like you've completed that section, whereas an open world, I feel, has to give you the opportunity to go back and there's still something for you to do.
Sure. So my honorable mentions are the original Borderlands that didn't quite make it on my list, and the Pokemon series as a series.
Yeah, see, that kind of has the same thing where it's like there's a completion to those towns. And
Yeah, I mean, unlike though, you can still go back to the old towns and catch Pokemon and grind, I guess.
true.
But
A real, actual honorable mention that can be on the list, but it's not on here, is Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. game fucking rules.
Yeah.
But it's not on the list. So
And I guess last honorable mention really quick, the Mass Effect series as
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah,
That's not on my list either.
yeah, it's like the same thing we were talking about earlier.
All right,
And
Miguel.
Any honorable mentions from you guys?
Thinking, I don't think I have enough games to have an honorable mention.
I see.
I can't think of anything.
Well,
Anything else?
Miguel's honorable mention is the Burger King classic Sneak King.
Yeah, that's not open world. That's level based.
It is. To be fair, it is. But you're wearing the crown. You are the Burger King. One of my favorite Easter eggs, by the way, in Fight Night Round 4, once you progress past a certain point, like you unlock more coaches and they give you like different stats. And the last coach you unlock is the King from Burger King.
Oh,
and he has
yeah.
all the stats. Like he just helps you. And then when you're in the corner, he's just like feeding you and doing all these other things. Get back out there.
What the fuck?
It's the best. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Tay is our guest this evening, so why don't you get us kicked off? What is your number 5 open world game, my friend?
Number 5 would have to be Borderlands 2.
Oh, well, look at
But
that.
why?
I really like the whole the art style of the game. It's very appealing to me, and the humor in it is
Oh yes.
amazing.
It's fantastic.
The gunplay is also extremely well done.
Yeah.
in my opinion. And that's pretty much it.
Fair enough.
Oh, I love it.
Borderlands barely missed my list. I didn't play.
Both of them missed.
Yeah, both. Borderlands. I like Borderlands 1 better than 2. So
Wow,
Did you play two?
weird.
yeah, I did. I did.
I played both. I like Borderlands 1. I think was a good experiment.
I will definitely say that I put more time into the first one than the second one. So you can take that, however you're going to take it.
I did play the first one 3 times.
Yeah, I beat the first one with all 4 characters. I didn't play the pre-sequel. I heard it wasn't that great.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm thinking of who I
skipped it.
didn't beat. I didn't beat it with. Is it named Owen?
It's been a
Soldier.
while. I
Roland,
just
no.
remember the first playthrough. Roland.
Yeah, it was really close.
The first playthrough is the most memorable to me. I don't remember his name, but I used the guy with the hawk and the sniper. Mordecai, yeah.
Yeah.
In any case, very cool.
So I played this. I actually only played through Borderlands 1 once because it just didn't grab me.
Only reason I
Borderlands
played
2 I
through-
finished it, but
The only reason I played through it multiple times because I had my brother wanted to play it, my cousin wanted to play it, and then I played it once by myself.
yeah,
So-
Borderlands 2 I finished and I was like ready for another go like immediately.
You were like, here we go
Yeah.
again.
At the time when Borderlands 1 came out, I didn't have like a ton of games because I think I was in high school, and my family
you weren't
wasn't
you
in
weren't
like
a
a
Call
super
of Duty player?
situation. No, and I wasn't. My only Call of Duty game I really like, and to this day, is Call of Duty 4. But we didn't get like a ton of games. So when I got it, I beat it by myself. I beat it with my buddy Ryan, and I beat it with my dad,
I want to
Billy.
say Modern Warfare 2 came out the same time as Borderlands 1, I believe.
Yeah,
And that's what I ended up playing more of.
That's fair. All right, Miguel, what's your number 5?
I guess if there were honorable mentions, now that I think about it, like Final Fantasy 12 because it's kind of open world and
Yeah.
that you can go,
Yeah.
you can go do shit with that, but the story is still like progressed linearly.
Sure.
Linearly.
I mean, the story doesn't necessarily mean. Anyway, I understand what you're saying,
Yeah,
but
Right.
And so, what is your actual number
I guess-
5?
No, I'm gonna bump 12 up to Final Fantasy 12 up to number 5. Then
okay.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Would you just kick off your list?
Huh?
What did you just kick off your list?
Yeah. What fucked off for Final Fantasy 12?
I wasn't remembering it, so I was like, it must not be as important to me as Final Fantasy 12. Because
That's a good idea.
I was recounting my list, but I fucked up and started from number 1. And I was like, okay, what's my list again? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3,
Yeah.
4, and 5.
What always comes to mind when I think Final Fantasy 12 is scantily clad rabbit women.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Fran's
Yes.
magnificent.
See,
And then you get to her homeland, and there's a ton of them, and it's
Yeah.
magnificent.
when I was making my list, like my number 1 and 2, those were locked in. Like those are done. It was like 3 through 5 that I kept, reorganizing basically the
it's-
same 3 games.
Mine was pretty funny because I knew right away what 1 and 2 were, and then it just fell into place, and I sat there. I made the list of 5, and I was like, was it that easy? And then I just went through everything, and I was like, yeah, that's the fucking list. All right, that fucking does it.
Yeah, mine was like kind of a struggle because I don't play that many open world games. I realized,
I play a good amount of open world, but it was just really funny because like I started from 1 and then up, and then it was just like, yeah, that's good. I feel confident with this list.
I have a feeling I know what both your number ones are going to be.
Yeah, I feel like
we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, Connor, what's your number 5?
Spider-Man 2 on the PS2.
Nice. It's so good.
It is. It's fucking rad, and it was like one of like
I didn't even think of that one.
I want to say it's one of the first like legit open world games that I like really got into,
Yeah.
and it was like the experience of just being in New York City and doing whatever the fuck you want, and like that's still like I still find that like because that was better than Ultimate Spider-Man.
It's still fun. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 that came out a few years ago by Activision.
I did not play that one.
It has the same feel. Like the gameplay isn't as fun, but it has the same freedom of you being able to just sling everywhere. So they attached both your arms to the left trigger and right trigger. So when you're swinging, you press right trigger to do that one, left trigger to go along the city, and it's just fun going around the city as a Spooder Man.
Yeah, I think because I played Ultimate Spider-Man on PS2 as well, and it was also free open world. It just wasn't as good as Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, how is it not as in-depth? Like the combat was watered down. You could play as Venom though. That was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spider-Man 2 it's a pretty fucking rad game. I love it. So
All right. There we go. So my number 5 is The Witcher 3.
that's a good one.
It's it's a fantastic game. I have never progressed to the end of it just because I've never owned it, but I've always played it. Every time I've gotten access to it, I've played it in really big chunks, and I really like it. The game is beautiful. The voice acting is amazing, and the story it tells is great. And in terms of just an open world, like it's gigantic.
It's huge. It didn't go on my list just because it is sectioned off.
Yeah.
It's like you go to the next, like, it's like here's this section of the world, and then you like load screen into the other chunk.
See, that's kind of
It's hard. Like that was enough of a distinction though for me to be like, I can't just walk over there without a load screen.
Yeah. See, I'm not as huge into open world games.
Yeah.
So I feel like most of my open world games are actually going to be smaller.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
they're-
Witcher 3 is huge. It's just not continuous. That's what like messed me up on it. But it is still open world, and the fact that you go and do whatever.
I think
and,
The Witcher 3 is the biggest game out of my 5.
Witcher 3 is fucking rad though.
So-
it's definitely a
Yeah,
great
it's
game.
great. The combat's
I'm
really
playing
fun.
through it again right now actually.
The only thing I don't like about it, and it's funny because everyone else, I'm not a huge fan of Gwent. Like I've never got super into
I'm
it.
not either, but you know the cool thing about it is it's not required. Like
Oh no, not at all.
So I mean, there's a couple side quests where it's like, hey, go fucking play some Gwent. You
Yeah,
know? And
it's
I'm
like if I was doing a review of it, I wouldn't count Gwent against it.
Yeah.
I might just mention that I wasn't a fan, but it wouldn't affect my score at all.
it's good enough that people fucking wanted a solo game of just Gwent, and it became a thing, and it's popular.
Yep.
And there's even physical Gwent cards.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5. Tay, what's your number 4?
My number 4, it kind of like Witcher, a semi-open world, Dragon Age Inquisition.
Nice.
I loved the story, and just the combat system of it really appealed to me. I've played the previous ones.
Yeah, that I really love Dragon Age Origins 1, and that game completely slipped my mind. I don't think I'd put it on my list, but I haven't played Inquisition. I've wanted to. It's really cheap now too.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game to the addition of RPGs. I really, really enjoyed it. The skill system and just progressing your character was amazing.
Oh yeah, I forgot to wipe that off last time. I noticed that was there.
Yeah,
weird.
Dragon Age is or fucking Inquisition. I haven't played through the whole thing. I forgot what happened with it, but I think we sold our Xbox at one point when we had it. It's one I've been wanting to go back to because I was enjoying it as I played. The characters are really cool.
Yeah.
We are living in a time where there's just too many goddamn video games.
That is true. Like a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are like, oh
Wow.
yeah, the golden age of video games.
Miguel,
back in
Miguel
the
just, I'm convinced
he
Miguel
ended.
doesn't actually like video games.
He just likes Overwatch.
No, I don't think the market's oversaturated or anything. I think there's enough variety that there's something for everyone.
See,
As a boy who likes indie games, there are too many
There are
goddamn
too
video
many
games.
for like Andrew and I who've played fucking every genre of video game.
Right? The only major release in the last 5 years that I'm like, nah, I'll pass is Puyo Puyo Tetris. That's like...
There's too many games to play them all.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many games that look good to me that I'm just like, I get sad sometimes.
Yeah,
Inquisition's that's a game I want to play though because I really enjoyed the first one. Question: do I have to play the second one to be able to understand Inquisition? Or
Nope.
No.
Okay,
No,
not
they're
at all.
separate stories.
Yeah.
I know the only thing I ever heard about it is that Morgan's in it, and that's it.
Yeah,
And I
she
like
is.
Morgan.
There are some weird.
It's basically in the same universe, and they make mentions of stuff going on in the other games. But I believe Inquisition's after the other Dragon Age games. So
Okay, rad. Miguel 4.
I'm thinking of reordering my list to be based on how the quality of the actual open world is.
No, it just whatever one you like the best. It doesn't have to be.
See, but that's not how you rate open world games, though. I'm rating them on their open worldness. Where I'd still put Final Fantasy 12 in that way because it's limited by like your level and like your progress in the game.
Yeah, I'm not listing mine.
I would
you
say
were.
if you guys will accept this technicality, I guess I'd put like Dark Souls next. Because it's got like a deep world and it's open in the sense that you can go wherever you want and you can walk to all locations in the world.
Yeah, I'd consider it open world.
Yeah.
No, it is definitely
yeah.
open world.
Because it's not like Demon Souls where it was like walk up to this motherfucking
Yeah, the hub.
tablet and then go into that world.
Yeah, they got rid of that in Dark Souls. And like Dark Souls is my favorite game of all time, but it's only like my fourth favorite open world game because it's also like not so practical for you to go do everything in the order you want to.
Well, then I think I know what your new number one is. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it's Borderlands 2, probably.
Well,
No.
I'm ranking it based on the quality of the open world.
No,
Yeah.
don't tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
I'll just
say it.
I'm putting money down that his number one's No Man's Sky
Interesting.
because he really likes that game, and that is the most open of worlds.
The most open of
So it's open worlds.
and even that
Yeah,
open
exactly. It's not even open world. It's open worlds.
You know what game is super fucking open world and it was actually pretty good as that, but it wasn't that great of a game? It was Spore.
Oh yeah, dude! Like
Spore
after,
is cool, man.
Once you got when you got into the like intelligence levels, it was different and not as like I don't know fun. I guess.
Yeah, it's like it got from being like this neat like thing, but then they just got really trivial after that, and I was like, oh, they lost all the glamour.
Yeah, they had a good base coat, and then they ruined it.
Just sort of dropped it. Yeah.
All right, Con Man, what's your 4?
My number 4. Now, there's no music right now because like the Mac decided that it wanted to be poopy for a moment.
Nice.
But my number 4 is RuneScape, and so RuneScape was honestly one of my like first fucking.
What was that sound?
I don't know what that was. I think it was Andrew making grunty noises.
I know, I did not. That is not a grunt. How is that a grunt? That sounded
like
like a dolphin.
Or a whimper, if anything.
That was the last few players who play RuneScape celebrating. There it is
dude,
again.
they're launching mobile.
it's the Mac saying that the soundboard quit unexpectedly.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see if that works again in a moment. So we don't have that for the time being. But RuneScape, I have spent so many hours in that world, and it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty expansive. It's got a lot of. So the one thing I really loved about the design of RuneScape was like, okay, they have like sections based on level, more or less. It's like, if you go here, you're safe at like level 10, and this is for like the level 30s. But there was still stuff that it was like, once you're max level, it's like, I'm going to go back up to this noob area because that's where the fucking adamant is. And, you can only mine it there. And there would always be like weird shit. Like, it's like, yeah, this is a level 10 zone, but there's just a level 40 scorpion over there. Just like ready to fuck on anyone who walks in his business. And it made it really cool because as a low level, you're just like, oh, shit. I can't be safe here, even though I could kill most of these things. But I'll just die in one hit from that thing. And then as a higher level character, you're just like, all right, I can have some fun, but I still can't let my guard down because that bitch right there is still swinging on fools. So, yeah, I think I couldn't leave it off the list. Like, even though I don't play it much anymore, it's been years, about 3 or 4 years actually since I played it legitimately, and it's just a very good open world. I like it. It's a good game.
Cool.
Despite what some people say, it's got really good music too. I like that. It might be old fashioned, but it's still good.
I'll agree with you on that one. It was a nice game to play.
Cool, man. So my number 4 is the Mad Max game that came out 2 or 3 years ago. Really enjoyed that. What happened?
Was it only 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah.
It feels older now.
No, it was only 2 or 3 years ago.
Jesus.
Yeah, that game's really fun. It has a pretty big open world. The car building mechanics as you go through and customizing your vehicle is really fun. And the story's cool. The gameplay itself is really fun. You go around, it's very third-person action. It like combines a third Gears of War style shooter with combat of the Batman Arkham series. And it melds together really well. And on top of that, just like car combat, going around and ramming other cars and all these fun things. The game was a bit underrated, I feel. It was free a few months back on PS Plus. And though I've been playing it for years, it's quite fun. I doubt it, but have any of you played it?
Nope.
No,
Nice,
I know
get that
about
one.
it though. It looks pretty cool. Hey, there we go. We got the sound back.
And yeah, it's from 2015.
Yeah, I told you like 3 years ago.
It feels so much older.
I mean, this generation of consoles is only like, what, 7 or 8 years old?
5.
6, is it?
Started in 2013.
Yeah, that's 5 years, yeah.
Yeah. So if you think about it, I mean, none of these games are that old. Or at least none of the ones on current gen.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because, like, it almost feels like too soon that they're talking about new consoles, but then it's like, this is what console generations used to be until the 360 PS3 era.
Sony in particular, they always, for a very long time, they supported their consoles for 10 years. They always did like a 10-year plan.
I don't know if you could say always.
No, they
but
did it
it's
for
like-
PS2 and PS3.
Yeah, and PS1 because that shit came out in 1994.
Yeah, but like I said, the last PS3 game or PS2 game,
Right,
just
but I
came
mean,
out,
like
a
they
year
still
or two
had.
ago.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, that is true, but there was a system made. Like the PS3 was making games into the PS4's lifespan, and the PS2 was making it well into the PS3's. But there was a replacement. Like fucking PS3 and Xbox 360 went, over 6 years and everything without even a replacement. So
That's true.
yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. I feel like this next console generation is about 3 years away. I would feel 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I could see.
3 years seems a bit long at this point
Yeah.
with how they're already talking about it.
I can almost see it happening next year.
Yeah, especially because last time,
I doubt it. Not
last
next year.
time, next gen consoles like were coming up as like rumored to be announced, and they did.
It happened within
was-
months. Of
yeah.
it was like here they are, and they announced them all, and then they released them that year.
I'm sticking to my guns 2 or 3 years. We'll see, but
I mean, because Microsoft did mention that they're working on it right now. At just this last E3, they're like, "Hey, we're working on the follow-up to Xbox One,"
Yeah.
and they've already talked about how there's going to be backwards compatibility on it, and so it's like I feel like next year we're getting a console announcement and a launch.
we'll see. Tay, what is your number 3, my dude?
My number 3 would have to be Fallout New Vegas.
Hey,
Hey,
that is a good one.
Just like I can't really say much more about it other than the name. It's just a fantastic game. Out of all of the Fallouts,
it's the best.
yeah, the side quests and just the story of it is amazing.
Yeah, it's legitimately got the best story of Fallout, and it has the most like technical mechanics. and
Who
I
shot
love
me
it.
in the fucking head?
Yeah. Right. See, and that's the thing is it doesn't take itself too seriously. The story is literally you're just some guy who was dumped in the desert, left for dead. And
Or
you're
girl.
Like, yeah, or girl.
Yeah.
And you're just fucking going on a murder spree if you want.
Yeah.
Or not. You can you could say, fuck it, I don't give a shit about that guy.
But you didn't. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to say I humbly disagree, and that's fine.
about it being the best
Was
Fallout.
your
Or?
favorite
Yeah.
Fallouts too?
My favorite Fallout's 2.
Yeah.
Before they changed the style of game.
Right.
It's hard to even put them in the same like category
in the
though.
same game series.
Yeah, I fully realize that. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics are
Now,
kind of
see,
their own.
I just
Yeah.
bought
Game
one and
series.
2, and I'm finally gonna play them.
I really like number 2,
So
dude.
yeah,
I've
I've
never
heard
even
it's
touched those
always
two.
good.
The
Everyone on
originals
fucking-
are really good.
Yeah, everyone on Rad posting talks about it being
Yeah.
great. So
It was really strange because when I played Fallout 3 for the first time, I was so pissed.
Yeah, like what the fuck is this?
Yeah, because I got done playing, Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 because I grew up with those and I really liked them. And Fallout 3 came out. Oh my god, I'm so ready for this. And I played it and I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I hate this. And
Yeah.
I'm like the only one. All of my friends who never played 1 and 2 because they're not weird like I am. They're like, this game is fucking great. And I'm sitting there like, you fucking plebs.
I still had a damn good time in 3, but yeah,
I've heard New
Fallout-
Vegas is just a better version of 3, right? It's
Well-
just like everything that 3 did right, it does that and more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so New Vegas is made by a group that knows how to make games.
Whereas 3
It
is
was
made by Bethesda.
so, yeah, New Vegas is fucking rad. I mean, it's a bit dated now when you go back to it. I mean, but
Yeah.
you're good at fucking playing old games anyways and just
Yeah.
enjoying them. You could mod the fuck out of it, which helps. I'm not saying mod it to add things that
No,
are
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
that are like
I don't want
silly.
to be fighting Thomas the
Right, but I'm saying
Train.
you can mod it like, hey, I'm gonna add HD textures,
Yeah, yeah.
and proper fucking, skeleton.
High res models.
Yeah, like you can make the game look new. I mean, the physics are still weird. but
I've tried to go back and play Fallout 3. I've not
it looks
tried New
muddy
Vegas.
as a motherfucker, don't it?
not even that. It's just I'm not a huge fan, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I loved the first 2 so much. that
Fallout's one of my favorite series, so it's like I think just the aesthetic itself in the world makes me like enjoy it.
people will disagree with me, and that's completely fine, but Fallout 3 on bastardized the series for me
Well,
because it just changed it. Like, I don't know how else to say.
see, that's the thing. Is
You're like
like
the-
many
Go
Fallout fans will agree with you. Like if you go, like honestly, Rad posting, it's a shit posting page on Facebook. It's a lot of actual fans though, and the majority of them do not like 3.
Yeah, and I can say that objectively, I see that it's good. I understand why people like it.
Yeah.
I just don't. So I respect your pick, Tay. But I can also tell you to get the fuck off my show whenever I want.
But he's talking about New Vegas, not 3.
And
Oh,
I
that's true.
respect that.
Yeah, you need to play
Yeah.
New Vegas. It's very good.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
I tried Fallout 3 when it was new, and I was like, oh, I don't fucking like that at all. And then New Vegas came around, and
You were like, I fucking like this at all.
I like this quite a bit. I
Yeah.
watched someone play through that one at least. I had no fucking interest in 3.
You're
Sure.
like, I just want to keep playing this.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your 3?
Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Because I rated it by quality of open worlds now. It's Borderlands 2. No, this ain't
I
no
know
place
it's the
for no
first one.
hero. This ain't no place for no hero. It's a good ass song.
It is.
Yeah, because it's open world. Obviously, you can go wherever the fuck you want. There are some locations that you have to be transported to by the game first, but then you can travel to them at least with fast travel. And there's a bunch of cool shit hidden in the world. Like there's a fucking what's his name? Not Donkey Kong, but
Danky King?
Oh god.
Donkey Mong. It's just Mong, huh? 'Cause
think,
they're
I
bully
think it's
Mongs.
Mong. Yeah,
it's
I
Donkey
think
Mong.
Mong,
Donkey
yeah.
Mong, and then there's the kind of like raid bosses and shit. So it's like those are RPG elements, but it's cool that they're like in the open world as like areas.
Uh-oh. Raid boss confirmed. Miguel's number 1 is World of Warcraft. Best open world game.
I have played that for like less than 2 hours, I think.
So what you're telling me is you haven't given it a chance.
Good.
Yeah,
don't.
kind of.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Luis was showing me a cutscene from the new expansion, and I was like, "Oh, this is one of the old ones, huh?" He's like, "No, that's from the newest. That's from Legion or whatever the fuck." I was like,
what's funny is they updated it in 2015 too.
"Yeah."
Oh man,
I'm like, "Oh,
it's pretty bad when Hearthstone is a more aesthetically pleasing game.
then the game it's based off
Yeah.
of."
The fucking spin-off. To be fair, it's over 10 years old now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
14.
fucking- yeah.
All right. So
14-year-old fucking no, 15 actually.
so Borderlands 2. for kind of
Borderlands.
reasons we discussed earlier. All right, Connor, number 3.
So my number 3 is it's funny because I love the GTA series, and you would think, oh, GTA, we've got to go with GTA 5.
No, you're
Open
doing
world.
Chinatown Wars,
Chinatown
right?
Wars. Fuck yeah, because holy shit, that's on a DS.
Yeah.
Not the 3DS, the DS, and then there's better versions on PSP. Yeah, but like drug running and fucking weapons deals and stealing cop cars and becoming a cop for a bit. Like, there's so much shit to do in Chinatown Wars. Like, I was honestly super disappointed when 5 came out and there was like all the shit that was in Chinatown Wars was not doable in 5, and I was like, why is that not a thing? You let me, like, I could just waste hours not doing missions and just playing and going on mayhem sprees in Chinatown Wars.
Have you played Sleeping Dogs?
Yes.
Is it similar but in 3D
It's
to Chinatown Wars?
yeah, kind of, but it's not. That's not as open world. That's like
It's open world.
kind of no, because it's like you go into like areas.
No, it's
Sleeping
it's
Dogs.
open world, my dude. You drive around the entire city. It's open world in the same sense as like Vice City or San Andreas.
Maybe I didn't play Sleeping Dogs. Maybe I played another game that's like Sleeping Dogs,
Sleeping Dogs is like Grand Theft Auto,
but Asian.
but Asian, but also the hand-to-hand combat is like straight up kung fu.
There was one I was playing and it wasn't. I thought it was Sleeping Dogs that I played, and it wasn't open world. It was like because you go on the rooftops, and it was like you kind of like teleported there for that mission.
That kind of
Max, Kane and
sound
Lynch.
that kind of sounds like
did
True
play Kane
Crime
and
Streets
Lynch.
of LA.
No, it wasn't that. It was on the PS3.
I don't know.
Either way,
Was Sleeping Dog? Yeah, well, never mind. I'm dumb.
yeah. Either way, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars is dude, it's the most underrated game fucking ever because no one bought it and like no one has played it, and then the people who have played it are like, dude, you gotta fucking play it, but no one ever takes that recommendation and plays it. Like, you could play it on your goddamn iPhone and Android, so
Yeah.
it's like less than $10 on those things too. So, or it is $10. I'm not sure. That's worth it. It's really good.
Like in any case, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's
just
my
go
number
buy it.
3 on my fucking open world games. It's fun. It's legitimately just a really, like, it's something that I think you would really enjoy because it's more arcadey
Sure.
than anything. And it just has that, like, you're playing a fucking video game, blow shit up and do whatever the fuck you want, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel you.
it's really good. And it has a great story. The story's hilarious in parts, actually has a good amount of depth, and a pretty good amount of twists, too. Like, there's points where you're just like, oh, yeah, this is fucking the way that goes. And it's like, oh, that didn't go at all the way I thought it was going to go. People are not dicks that I thought were. Yeah,
I feel you.
pretty good.
All right, man. So my number 3 is the smallest open world out of all of them, but
Fable?
no, Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh,
So-
Arkham Asylum. Interesting.
It is an open area where you can fly around and you can do whatever you can go wherever you want.
That almost kind of fits into where I said no Animal Crossing, no Stardew
Yeah,
Valley.
like I said, it's the one that I know I'm gonna like. It doesn't quite fit, but
Yeah.
I just like it so much better than
I
the other
understand
ones.
it.
Yeah, I get it. Like, for me, the only reason I didn't fucking count those games was like, okay, that would take up like 3 of the fucking spots. And
Yeah.
everyone would be like, here we go, another farming game.
You know, I really want to get them to let me get a code for Farming Simulator for Switch for you, just because I bet you would like it.
I probably wouldn't because it's too real, man. I like being
man.
like I was telling you, I don't like fishing video games, but
Yeah.
I like to go fishing in a video game.
Yeah. But anyway, Arkham Asylum is great. The story is fantastic. It kind of changed and revolutionized that style of fighting in video games. Before that, you would have games like God of War, were like kind of the mainstay, where they were big button mashing, and it was just like hit, and there was no real reactions. After that, everyone since then has always said, "Oh, it's like the Arkham style of fighting because it changed how they do it."
That's a fair point.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, man, beat 'em ups existed long before, and it's always been that same type of gameplay. But it did kind of just like
The Arkham system has been adopted by almost everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
it revolutionized the genre.
yeah. Now, granted, some people say it's not a great system; it's too easy.
I think
Which
it's
it
easy.
depends on how you do it.
You know, but I was kind of coming over this like revelation in my head the past like week or month or so, in that I kind of can't feel right to myself about saying things are too easy and knocking that against it, because part of me is like, what if I'm just better at those types of games? Because I was replaying Zelda Wind Waker over the week. Because my mom had a Wii U and it was like all these fucking games were on it already, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play Wind Waker, and I was just like fucking walking through it. Like I collected the Master Sword in under 2 hours.
Yeah, see, you know, I had that kind of revelation too, because recently I played Bayonetta and beat it no problem.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just good but my buddy Ryan was playing it and he said that game's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm just like
I've beaten it on the fucking hardest difficulty. Yeah.
I guess, you know, beat 'em ups or anyway, but it's kind of revolutionized that. The open world, it's not super open world, but it's open enough. It has Mark Hamill doing the voice of the Joker and Nolan North.
Which is always great.
Not Nolan North. I can't think of his name.
Who?
The guy who does all the animated Batman cartoon voice, Kevin Conroy.
Oh, God, is that his name? I don't fucking know.
Anyway, he's doing the Batman voice.
I'd have to see his name and then I'd be like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, even if like, because I know Miguel, you don't like that style of gameplay very much.
Conroy.
Yeah. Which actually, because we were on the topic about like, oh, I don't want to call it too easy, because it's not about how easy it is; it's about the involvement. That's what I feel.
Right.
Like,
Well, I mean, we could talk about this more. Like, we're not strength for time at all, but I figured we could just get through our list, and then this would be a subject we talk about.
it was just a
But-
quick aside like that. That's the way to look at it instead of looking at it as too easy. It's
Well,
how involved are you?
Well, that's
is
the
all.
thing is like I was saying that, like, if we're gonna go on this tangent for a bit, I was saying that about Breath of the Wild, that it was too easy, and that like I didn't feel as engaged with puzzles and whatnot.
Right.
And then my little brother played it, and he was like, "It's fucking hard for me," is what he said. And then I played Wind Waker, which I have like kind of held as the gold standard of Zelda games because the combat was really solid in it. It had dungeons, it had exploration, all that stuff. And then I'm playing, I'm like, "Oh fuck!" I'm just kind of like quapping through this.
Yeah.
Like it's not even that I've played it before.
That's
because
ironic.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Since I played it, and I was like I said, I fucking collected the Master Sword in like under 2 hours. Like. I was like, okay, maybe I've just gotten like good at this,
Sure.
and that's why fucking it felt so easy.
Yeah. So, but real quick, because I know we can go back to this. I will say that Arkham Asylum is the last game that I went super completionist on, and the only reason why is because Cass was catching up in gamer score, and she only had 8 games on her thing, and she had 8,000 points because she just 1,000 all of her games. And so I was playing Arkham Asylum, and I found every fucking Riddler trophy.
Damn.
And
dude.
it took so long. Like, by the time I was done, like, I love that game. It was my 3rd time playing through it at that point. And I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to play this again for a very long time. And when I do, I'm not doing that again. Never again. Getting an Xbox One, like, one of the main pluses to me is that I would get that achievement on my account saying that I got all the Riddler trophies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, it's already on your account. It would just transfer over.
Yeah,
But he's saying
exactly.
he'd be able to play an Xbox and it would be there.
Yeah, exactly. That's like one of the main draws for me to get an Xbox, which is really weird.
Fucking
But
do it, dude.
anyway, that's my number 3. Tay, what's your number 2, dude?
My number 2 would have to be, and it was a really close call. This actually almost got to my number 1. Would be The Witcher 3.
Oh,
Okay.
There you go.
It just everything about it was just amazing.
Maybe I should pick this up before the Steam sale ends.
You
D-
really
definitely.
should, dude.
Do you prefer to play games like this on console or PC?
See,
Do you care?
Well,
Go ahead, Connor.
I was gonna say I play this with a controller, but I played on PC because I can play it in high res.
Oh, okay.
And have you played it without a controller on PC?
It sucks dick on keyboard.
Okay, so it's,
It's
like
on
Dark
sale
Souls.
right now on
Yeah.
PS4 for only $20, the complete edition.
It's on Steam for $20.
Yeah,
With Blood
Which I
and
would probably
Wine
do
or whatever,
because it's faster to download on my PC anyway.
that's fair. Anyway,
Yeah.
what-
Blood and Wine, out of any expansions or DLCs I've ever played, Blood and Wine is the best.
It's pretty rad.
It practically doubled the entire game itself, and it just added in so much. It's an amazing game.
The
They did a
only
fantastic job.
the only expansion, like you were just saying that, the only expansion I can think of that's like just as awesome is Burial at Sea for Infinite.
I never played that.
Bioshock Infinite. It's fucking cool.
I felt that way about the Taken King for Destiny 1. because it was like the same
yeah,
amount of
dude.
content.
Yeah, the Taken King was
yeah.
blow the doors off of the fucking previous DLCs that they threw in there.
Yeah.
It was like, here's Destiny 2, just not.
Yeah, without being Destiny 2.
Yeah, like it added so much fucking content. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Witcher 3, I think, honestly, still to this day, has some of the best NPC like faces.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
like you don't see the same people twice, and they're really like they look like people. I think I actually said that when we were going our Game of the Year that year.
Yeah.
Because Witcher 3 was in my top 5, and I was like, dude, like the people feel like people. They don't just like have random gamers.
You know, this just popped in my head because you said that. I recently on GameFly they had a sale where, you know, it's really great if you ever buy games from GameFly is they ship the cases and everything. Like you get a full copy of it.
Oh yeah.
So they had a sale, and I recently bought Mass Effect Andromeda for $6.
Yeah.
Right, and when you said really realistic faces, in my head I was
You
just
were
picturing
thinking
Andromeda.
the mud, fucking dog shit faces, man.
I remembered that Cyberpunk 2077 finally got a new trailer.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm fucking hyped.
right.
Yes.
All right, cool, man. So, Miguel, what's your number 2?
Fuck was it going to be again? Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda. And this is because you could do the game in whatever order you want.
And that was fucking really good.
Yeah.
And just, I think, man, okay, going into Breath of the Wild, like, one thing that,
Yeah, we
like,
can have this discussion
when,
now.
When it finally came over my mind as, like, this fucking hill, and I was like, oh, wait, I can just climb up there.
Yeah,
I was so used to being in almost any game, like even open world games that are really expansive. You fucking go into a town and you're like, here's the goddamn town, and there's a mountain, but I can't go on that mountain.
I think of a video. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. It just says, "Friend, why don't you go around the mountain?" Me as a millennial, it's a person on a horse.
On Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
See, in Skyrim, you had to like shittily glitch your ass through shit. But in fucking Breath of the Wild, it's like
You climb.
You fucking climb it, and like there are parts where it's like, okay, you can't really climb this, but if you have the stamina, you can, and if you have this fucking climbing gear, you can do it.
And you can glide across valleys and take
Yeah, and, like,
giant fucking what are they called?
shortcuts.
Torrents out of the air.
Oh, yeah, air
What the fuck are they
currents.
called again?
Yeah,
but the ones shooting out of the earth.
Oh, vortex.
No, what the fuck is that called again?
Geysers?
Kinda. It's the steam, the
Dust
heat.
devil.
Whatever.
No, they prefer the term geezers. It's fine.
Yeah, you
But
know,
yes, it comes from geysers.
and you know that's actually okay. So Breath of the Wild, I feel like I was too hard on it. Like, I think it's better than I was giving it credit for. Because like originally when I was playing Mario Odyssey, which I've come to fucking love, I was thinking it was too easy.
Right.
Sure.
And then it's like, yo, my dude, there are 820 moons though. Like you collected 300 to like finish the game, but there are 4 different endings depending on how many of those bitches you collect, and even farther than that. And then I kept playing, and then I got the 999 moons on Mario, and I was like, dude, that fucking darker side of the moon is one of the hardest times I've ever had in any game.
Is that are you saying is that your number 2?
No.
Mario
Mario
Odyssey?
Odyssey is not open world. It's fucking instance based. But I was talking about how like after I reassessed Mario Odyssey because I was really thinking it's too easy, and like I said, I've been thinking about this. I was like, I don't think Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild was too easy. I've just played a shit ton of Zelda games, and I know what Zelda games look like.
Sure.
And that's the thing.
Yeah, because when you went back to Wind Waker, you
I was
fucking rolled through it.
Fucking walked right ass through it, and like I was like, dude, if I had another like day, I would beat this game, and it would have been fucking no time at all.
But see, it's like these games, it's also not a slight that they're easy because the involvement is still a level in there. Like
Yeah.
just because it's easy doesn't mean you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like I don't like the beat 'em up system is because you boil it down to what are your fucking combos that you do,
Yeah.
and you do those all the time.
True.
Yeah, but there's different. It just depends. In theory, if it's doing its job right, there should be different enemy types that don't let you just do the same combos over and over again. You have to kind of vary it up the way you do it.
Yeah.
So, for example,
but then it's like
like
how many of those different types of enemies are
no,
there?
exactly. There needs to be a good amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
I
for
will
example, the
say-
first one that pops in my mind, Arkham, like there's these dudes with like electric wands basically, and you can't walk up and punch them normally. You have to stun them first to do
Right.
it, or there's
Yeah.
heavies or whatever
And,
the case.
you know, that's where I will acknowledge completely though that Wind Waker still, it has a better story for one, because like the story is really shoddy in Breath of the Wild.
It's almost lacking. I guess.
Yeah, it's almost like you get as much story as you would get in like a trailer, is how much story there was in Breath of the Wild.
Right.
And then in Wind Waker, it's like, even though I was blazing through it, I was like, this is still a really nice story. This is like, it's not anything epic. It's not like some crazy, like really deep story. It's just like, yeah, this is a nice little hero's journey, and it like makes sense, and it's kind of touching at moments.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess, I think, is like the high point of stories.
Of storytelling,
in Zelda.
yeah. Twilight Princess is fucking
That's so
great.
strange, because I hear a lot of people say that Skyward Sword had a really good story, but
did.
people just didn't
It did.
play it.
Oh, it did. But Skyward Sword had like this really horrible thing of only having 3 dungeons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it played it played like dog shit as well.
I didn't mind it. I had pretty good fun with the fucking sword swinging. But there were moments where I was like, God damn it, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I feel you.
Fucking Wii remote.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we only got like 15 minutes. What's
Oh,
your?
it'll be
We'll probably be fine. But what's your number 2, Connor?
So, I really like this game as it's open world. It's not my favorite Fallout game, though. So, Fallout 4 is my number 2. And that's because the open world is way more interactive and way more, like, alive than the other Fallout games. Now, I love the Fallout series, and Fallout New Vegas is my favorite Fallout game. But Fallout 4 is the better open world game.
I thought your favorite Fallout game was Fallout Shelter.
I do play a lot of that. But Fallout 4 has like a very dense world, and it's big. It's fucking huge, and it's dense, and it's got amazing gameplay. It's just not a good RPG. It's
Sure.
like you don't have very many options in the RPG sense. You can't be a straight up evil motherfucker like you can in the better Fallouts.
Yeah.
And but it's not a bad game. I think that a lot of people that like diss on Fallout 4, they're mad at it because it's not a good RPG. It's a great adventure game though, and it's a great shooter.
I feel you.
that's what made me lose interest in it.
Was that the RPG sense was not really hitting it.
because New Vegas held me with all the like interesting characters and factions
That's
and
true.
shit.
Yeah, see, and that's what like fucking like the whole thing with Kaiser's Legion or Caesar's Legion, however you want to pronounce it.
They say it both ways
they
in
say
the
it
game.
both ways in game. So, like that whole moral dilemma that goes on was like, he's an evil bastard, but he's got a point in this post-apocalyptic world where everyone's kind of a dick, and you know, it makes you decide. Whereas in Fallout 4, it was like fucking completing the main quest was like, I guess I did it.
Yeah.
Something happened.
I feel you.
Yeah, but the world was great. Like, especially when you just go off the beaten trail after you ignore the fucking main quest and just start playing the game. It's great. Like, there's so much stuff to find out and just discover. And it's like, you know, finding the old nuclear launch site in the radiation zone is like, whoa, this is where it all fucking ended. Because and like you read the journals and you're like, oh, the whole fucking war started by some guy being a fucking scaredy cat dick ass. So, yeah.
Those damn dick asses.
Yeah. So I think Fallout 4, as far as open worlds go, it's my number 2.
It's like a less cute dick butt.
Oh, okay. My number 2 is the Rockstar game LA Noire.
It's hard to call that one open world.
It's open world too.
It is.
Yeah, it is, but that's not like the point of the game.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we're doing our list different, Miguel.
Yeah, it's because I would say like I get the argument because
It has
You
an
can
open
drive
world
around
in
and
it.
go do whatever you want.
you can go do that, but there's like a game that you're supposed to be playing, and it's like it stops, a menu happens, and like a cutscene, and then it's like, hey, go do this now. This is your new chapter.
Yeah,
buddy.
you can go dick around and do whatever you want,
Yeah.
and there are some side missions to do that have nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
I will admit that it's not like the most interactive
The thing that
or lively open world.
The thing that
but
tarnishes its open worldness for me is that when you're on an actual story mission, like time is of the essence sometimes.
Yes.
And it's like, hey, open world game, here's a random call from the like police radio that's like, hey, go help this crime that's going on. And then I'm like, if I do that, I don't get to save this lady from getting her apartment fucking destroyed.
Right? It's either I can go help this person or go do
Or I
this.
can do what I'm supposed to be fucking doing right now.
So
which
you're
is
gonna go
very
do what you're
urgent.
supposed to do, and then you realize you get a call later. This person was murdered. Why weren't you there?
Yeah, but the thing is like that doesn't affect you. But if you
No.
fucking ditch the lady, it's like, hey, you just lost a star on your police
Yeah.
ability.
Anyway, but I love this game, dude.
It's a good game.
It's
I'm playing it right now.
I think
so.
it's super underrated. When it came out, people they kind of lampooned it. I guess
It was cool.
I feel like it's underrated. Like
I
it didn't
enjoyed it.
sell super well. It
didn't?
it lost money.
Yeah.
It didn't sell super well, but they remastered it.
Yeah, because they were probably it was easy and they probably wanted to make more money
Huh.
to try to break even.
Because people have been saying it's good. Like Rockstar could do that with Chinatown Wars probably, and then like they were like, yeah, here's the fucking HD like super duper edition, and people would be like, I've heard this is a good game, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I just think at the time when it was released, people wanted Grand Theft Auto 5, and
Yeah.
instead they got LA Noire.
Yeah.
It was like after Red Dead. If I remember,
I was
correct,
still
if-
in love with GTA 4.
Yeah, but in any case, it's really fun. The actual like interactive story elements that you do when you're trying to investigate people, it's amazing, and the actual like faces they make,
Yeah, it's still the only game that has done full motion capture.
because it
for-
costs so much money.
Yeah.
It costs all of the money
costs a
to
shit
do
ton,
that.
but it's fucking cool.
Yeah, and that's the only game that studio ever made, like that section of
That's
Rockstar.
actually Rockstar, yeah.
Because after that, and it didn't sell super well, they shut it down.
Did they? I thought they just removed them to the fucking making animations in game, but
No,
not
they
doing that way.
shut it down.
Well, no, they shut that down, but the people might have.
I think
been
yeah, I think
relocated.
Yeah, yeah.
I think all the people didn't get fired though.
But in any case, I love the game, dude. It's one of those games that I can show people who aren't even necessarily into games, and they
Right.
will appreciate it and they'll like it because of the storytelling.
yeah, they can sit there and watch it like a mini series.
Yeah, it's like a slightly more involved Quantic Dream game.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, speaking of which, I need to fucking get Detroit.
I want Detroit. I also anyway. But yeah, that's my number 2. Tay, what is your number 1 open world game?
My number one, I would be surprised if any of you have played it, is Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
I have played Baldur's Gate.
Have you?
I've played
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 2. More than
Shadows of Om.
yeah.
I haven't played it, but I know it's renowned.
Yeah.
It, I don't know what to say about it. It is still to this day the number 1 game I've ever played.
Oh, it's just your
And
favorite
and-
ever, man.
Yeah, it's my favorite ever. It's my favorite open world. It's phenomenal.
It's fucking good.
I haven't played it since I was a kid. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know what I was doing at the time.
Oh,
So I want to
Yeah.
go back and play it now that I at least somewhat know what I'm doing.
you know what's funny is I haven't played it since I was a kid either, and I went to play it again because my buddy Nate and I got the like HD enhanced edition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Turns
that
out
happened.
the enhanced edition didn't fucking work.
Oh,
It's actually on mobile. Like I have it on my phone too.
Nice. Okay,
and
like,
you can get the first one and Shadows of Om on mobile.
That's
Nice.
dope. I'll do that because
Yeah, and I think it's like $10-15.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah,
bad at all.
it just
Yeah. Baldur's Gate's one of those. I remember my uncle Luke, he was big into PC gaming, and he gave me, it was just a case. You opened it up and it had like 6 discs or 5 discs on the PC, and he goes, "Here you go." And I tried playing it, and I just died all the time because I didn't know what I was doing.
yeah. Oh man.
All right, Miguel, what's your number 1, dude?
I want to say it's Fallout New Vegas for kind of the opposite reason as Connor. Because it has so much flexibility. I count that as part of the open world attribute,
Sure.
and not the RPG elements. Like because you can do the story in any order you want to do, or you make the story. You can go find like
you
all
can just
the,
not do the story and go do whatever the fuck.
yeah, Well, you can do that in 4 as well, but you can actually shape the story based on who you like interact with, and
Yeah.
maybe you don't. Maybe you don't ever fucking meet this other like part of the game outside of killing them for the guys you decided to side with.
I wanna tell a little story about when I was playing New Vegas.
All right, go for it.
So I saw the fucking the wolf. Is that right? That's the name of the guy in Caesar's Legion. The like he's named the Wolf, right? He's wearing the fucking hat. I saw him and I saw the crucified people, and I didn't even fucking talk to him. I was like, "Ooh, those look like bad guys." And I threw a bunch of mines all over the goddamn town. They came up and they were like, "Hi, we are Caesar's Legion." And I was like, "Okay, this guy's shady." And then he's like, "Yeah, we kill everyone." I was like, "Yeah, even worse." And then I was like, I'm not gonna side with you. And they're like, "Well, fuck you then." And they went to go kill me, and I was like, "Bye, everybody."
And then you kill them because
And
you
the
can.
whole fucking fleet of them died right then and there. And I played the entire rest of the game being attacked by legionnaires who were way over leveled. Because I was now extremely hated by Caesar's Legion for the whole game.
You could be.
Because I could be. But here's the thing that kind of annoyed me about that. I was like, who the fuck witnessed this shit?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I was like, I killed every single one of them. And
Somebody got away.
That's just game logic.
yeah, right? Maybe one of the guys on the cross was like, yeah, dude, some guy wearing a ball suit.
Yeah, they walked up like, hey, who did this? Oh, some fucking dude. Or well, you're a chick, huh?
Yeah.
Some fucking chick.
Some chick in a vault suit, man.
She's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. What's your number? Oh, I already know what your number one is, Connor.
What is it?
If it's not Red Dead Redemption, I would be very surprised.
Music.
I don't know what that
It
means.
sounds familiar, but what the fuck is it?
You're going to recognize it in a second. Come on. It's fucking... It's like... It's tied as my number one game of all time. We're going to get it.
I genuinely don't know.
It's Minecraft.
Oh.
Oh, this is like one of the newer songs.
No, it's actually not. This is you can only get it by making a jukebox though. And it's one of my favorite songs in the game.
Oh,
Okay.
weird.
Well.
It's the cat theme. We don't have to go into it. Everyone knows.
Okay.
Minecraft.
Well, I'm genuinely surprised Red Dead Redemption is not on your list then.
It's not on my list because there's not much to do in Red Dead Redemption once you finish the areas.
Yeah, but you always tell that story about it being such an alive world, and that story of like a guy chasing his donkey.
It is an alive world, but it's not a live open world.
Okay.
You know, it's a great world and it's a fun adventure. It's not a good open world game because once you do what you need to do in that game, you can't do shit except
Sure.
for play poker, which I've done like literally way too many hours playing cowboy poker. Yeah.
All right, so my number one, I was kind of a little hesitant to put this as my number one because it was so recent, but God of War, the new one,
Is that open world?
it is.
Oh, cool.
It is. It's not. It's more open world than like LA Noire and Batman Arkham Asylum, but it's not as open world as like The Witcher.
Huh.
So the actual place you play in Midgard is open world, and then you also have access to other worlds that are also open, like Niflheim, Altheim, and all these other places. And they aren't as big, but yeah, like there's side missions, and you can go just explore and get upgrades and different like recipes to build and create different armors for Kratos just by going to go do these things. And I was hesitant because I just beat it so recently and I didn't know if I'd feel this way later on. But the game is just a masterclass of writing and gameplay that I have not had. Probably the writing in the game, I have not had a game this good since The Last of Us. Like, I would put it almost on the same level in terms of
Wow.
writing in it.
You didn't happen to bring that with you to lend me, right?
You can get it on the way back. 'Cause
All right,
I live on the way home.
That's true.
Yeah, good idea.
The relationship between Kratos and Atreus, like the bond they get throughout the game and the difficulties they have with all the different characters in it. Like looking back, the writing is so much better than I thought it was. And I could gush about this game. I'm actually planning on doing a full like expose about it for the Ubercrit channel. It's gonna be like a half an hour long video. Because like I just want to gush about it.
You just fucking
And praise it. Like I would be very surprised later in the year when we do our top 5 games of the year if this is not number one.
If something
yeah.
beats it out for you.
Yeah, if
Something
this is
just
not,
squeezes right in there.
I would be very surprised. But yeah, the music's great. The boss fights
Super
are
Mario
fantastic.
Party.
Right.
Right. Fucking Smash Bros is gonna do it for
Yeah,
you.
if you haven't played it, you need to. They changed the gameplay to be better. It's more Dark Souls-esque, like, but not as hard.
Yeah, that draws me in.
Nice.
Yeah, so you get Dark Souls style gameplay with an open world that also uses mythology, Norse mythology,
Right.
and it's just amazing, dude.
I think that's cool how Kratos is taking on a different pantheon now, too.
Yeah, well, he's out of gods in his world.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Or at least ones that he's going to kill.
Yeah, exactly. So that was our show this week. We want to say thank you to Tay for coming in. Do you have anything you want to shout out, my friend?
It's been a pleasure, last minute kind of deal. So.
Do you have any social medias people can follow you at? Maybe your address, social security number, all that stuff. No, it's fine.
I'm not too sure. I can't remember my socials. So I'll have to get back down.
Oh, you're gonna have to work on that.
All right, you have to work on that, man. All right, Connor, Miguel, anything you guys want to bring attention to?
That we should be done with the show by now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, from everyone here at Chaotic Radio, we want to say thank you for listening to the Kinda Gaming Show. We will see you next Thursday for a full show, and we want to say thank you and good night.
Love you.
Jesus.